Sami Zayn, currently the hottest thing in professional wrestling, and more importantly, he's kind of giving off, and the wrestling world is kind of giving off the vibes here of what to do with Sami Zayn. We've seen this before with Bryan Danielson and Daniel Bryan in WWE WrestleMania 30, and the plans were obviously for Batista to win the Royal Rumble and then go over, but then Daniel Bryan threw a kink in those plans, and then we saw it in 2019 with Kofi Mania. The idea was that for Mustafa Ali to be in that Elimination Chamber match. Kofi was in the Elimination Chamber, had a great showing. The fans got behind him and essentially had to be given a championship match. Unfortunately, we only have one championship right now with Roman Reigns having both belts. So what to do with Sami Zayn as he gets ready to face Roman Reigns at Elimination Chamber for the championship. And fans like myself are a little frustrated because, as Michael Cole even put it, this is some of the best storytelling in WWE in a decade. Michael Cole said that himself. And the blow-off for this feud is at Elimination Chamber. And, that is a tough pill to swallow because while Cody Rhodes, it's great he won the Royal Rumble, he's going on to WrestleMania, wrestling is the story. So if you want to just give someone a championship match, Elimination Chamber is a great place. But if you're going to blow off essentially a 9-month story, Elimination Chamber with 3 weeks notice, might I add, because this is one of the shortest pay-per-view turnarounds from Royal Rumble to Elimination Chamber, especially, too, with the fact that we talked about this on last week's show. Cody Rhodes is there. Cody Rhodes has challenged Roman Reigns. That essentially is going to be your WrestleMania main event. I don't see them putting Sami Zayn versus Cody Rhodes as your WrestleMania main event.
Well, let's back off the tracks just a little bit. I know we're going to talk more Cody Rhodes in a second, but in his promo this week, which we'll get to the other stuff in that promo that was very noteworthy. He did mention he kind of gave Sami Zayn, hey buddy, good luck, hey, maybe it'll be you and I at WrestleMania. So
he had to do that.
Yeah, it was smart to do that, by the way. That was very smart of him. And
to help sell, hey, there's another pay-per-view. Let's not forget about that. And that's essentially the whole point of the segment is let's make sure we don't forget about that pay-per-view.
That segment definitely,
very big match.
That segment with Cody Rhodes and Paul Heyman, that we'll get to that in a second. That definitely sold a lot of people on WrestleMania. But that's WrestleMania. Elimination Chamber's coming up. I'm just curious to know what they're going to do with Sami Zayn. I don't know. It's like, you're not going to put the belt on him at this point. You're not going to have Roman Reigns. You're in a tough spot. Roman Reigns is not going to lose his record, his modern record reign as champion at Elimination Chamber. Not happening. Yeah. So the match we already know.
When they've already made the poster and the graphics for WrestleMania.
It's a foregone conclusion. The only way, and I mentioned this last week, that we can make this work is somehow Sami Zayn gets to be inserted into the picture with Cody Rhodes and Roman Reigns at WrestleMania. They make it a triple threat main event on one of the nights, and then you could still find a way to get Sami his moment because how I feel about Sami.
The issue is though, this is all leading up to Cody Rhodes becoming the champion. So again, if he got that moment at WrestleMania, let's say winning that match.
But you don't see, a swerve could happen. A swerve can happen. That is regardless of.
And I don't hold it again. And I don't believe Cody Rhodes is somebody who wouldn't want to do business and wouldn't say, hey, if that's best for business, if Sami Zayn is hot right now.
Cody Rhodes, if he was asked, he'd say, yeah, I'm good. Cody Rhodes is, like you said, he's always in. He's a business minded person. I think the way this is going to play out, and I kind of hope it plays out this way, is we have a triple threat at WrestleMania because Sami Zayn, and you know how I feel about Sami Zayn. In years of doing this podcast, there was many of those years where I was not a big proponent of Sami Zayn.
And I wasn't a big proponent of Kofi Kingston in 2019. I won't lie there, even when everyone was behind him.
You got to give respect to where respect is due, and it's not only Roman Reigns is having one of the best runs in modern history, but Sami Zayn, the last year, I'll just say year, has been his best run and arguably one of the best runs, and like Michael Cole said, in like a decade. So you gotta have him. There's got to be a payout somewhere here where Sami Zayn gets his due, because anything other than him getting something good out of this whole thing just feels like it's a waste of time.
And I think, and I don't want to say credit to WWE, But to show how organic essentially this is the fact that it is having this payoff. Because if WWE really thought that everyone was going to get behind Sami Zayn and this was going to be a bigger deal than it is, then they would have probably planned for a payoff to be at like Survivor Series. You know, they would have had the swerve a lot earlier, the heel turn a lot earlier, and then we would have the payoff, you know, earlier so that we could have months between those big matches. Similar to how we all thought Drew McIntyre might be the one to dethrone Roman Reigns at Clash at the Castle, because Roman Reigns hadn't already advertised he was facing Logan Paul at Crown Jewel. They didn't already make up that poster. They didn't already have those promos started, you know, and on top of the fact that, you know, Drew McIntyre was a legitimate opponent and they gave that its due. Roman Reigns won, but, you know, they weren't already saying that, oh, don't forget in a couple weeks, Logan Paul and Roman Reigns fight for the title, but here's Drew McIntyre, you know, maybe he'll win the title. But we already told the Saudis it's going to be, you know, Logan Paul. No, they gave it its due. We didn't know what to know, but here, we know Cody Rhodes is waiting in the wings. We already know this big championship match is essentially on the horizon. So it's like it's not getting its space where we can kind of say, you know, maybe Sammy wins and loses it, you know, in the next month or the next pay-per-view. There's no next month pay-per-view, thankfully, because in the past we remember there was Fastlane in there, some sandwich in between. So luckily there isn't a Fastlane in there. There isn't anything else. But, you know, like I said, Survivor Series or something like that, or even, you know, Extreme Rules. If this would have blown off in a more planned way, they could have had Sammy win, Sammy get the title, and then lose the title the next month, and you know you go on with business. But it's a difficult spot here because if you give Sammy the belt at Elimination Chamber, you're essentially giving him the belt to head into Mania with, and I don't know if that's what WWE wants to do, but you can't deny where we are with Sami Zayn right now. I'm still sticking with at WrestleMania outside of Cody and Roman. It's going to be Sammy and Jay versus Jimmy and KO. And, you know, you can draw your own conclusions how we get there. And essentially at Elimination Chamber, we might find a way about how that gets created. You know, two Montreal boys in Montreal, you know, and we haven't seen Kevin Owens for a few minutes, I think, since this issue. So that's what I think it's going to be, and how that plays into the championship titles, I don't know. I
got to stop you there. That's not a bad idea. I just don't think it's the correct idea. I really think it's.
I don't necessarily think it's the correct idea either, because again, we're not letting those stories breathe. Meaning that Sammy and Kevin kind of just reunited.
So let me ask you this: the correct idea, in my opinion, is just the one I said. You make it a triple threat at WrestleMania, and what you do is, for Sami Zayn and Roman Reigns at Elimination Chamber, you make it where Sammy looks fantastic in the match, and Roman essentially escapes. Where then it's like, oh, Sami Zayn definitely has got to get thrown into the triple threat, for WrestleMania. And then for me, I'm not gonna be surprised. I'll give you this one. Maybe you haven't heard this yet. What about Uso versus Uso at WrestleMania?
But again, what do you then do with Sammy and KO in that sense?
KO can always find a way to sneak KO in somewhere. I'm just thinking outside the box.
Uh-huh. I'm thinking Uso versus Uso. I'm just saying that they're both going to be aligned with an honorary Uso as well, if you know what I'm saying.
The issue that I have is because
I already think we're getting that singles match with Dom and Rey Mysterio kind of, family against each other. So I don't know how too many singles, family versus family we're going to get. And I think we're definitely probably on the road to Edge versus Finn Balor at WrestleMania as well.
Yeah, I think that's on the horizon. I wouldn't be surprised with WrestleMania where what they could do is, because obviously you have two nights, two shows. Mm-hmm. You have one family match one night, another family match the next night. And then, so you're not having two family matches on one show. You're having it spread out a little bit. So that's how you can make that work. I personally would love to see that. I think, and the seeds are planted on that. If you really think about it, you have Jimmy, who is Roman's ride or die right now, and was kind of like he kind of looked at Jay like, "What are you doing, dude? Like, what's going on?" And Jay's not getting back to him. Jay said, "I'm out. Peace. I'm out of this bloodline. I'm out." I'm waiting to see how those two are going to interact. The Usos. I want to see that.
Well, I think we have to see a little bit of it. Not this Friday, or it's the following Friday, the tag team championship match, I believe, that we're going to get. I don't know if it's this Friday or next Friday, the night before Elimination Chamber.
It's coming up, and I will say this: the Usos have had a very historic title reign as well. Mm-hmm. So it would be different, and I think it would be kind of cool to do it on a program that's not a pay-per-view or, premium live event. You could do something like that. And in that sense, that's where the breakup starts to happen, where there's a fallout between the Usos, and then that sets up, and then they start building it up for you. Got plenty of time. You have whatever, a month or so, whatever the exact days, but you'll have enough time to build something where it's Jimmy, Jay, one-on-one. Who wouldn't want to see that? I think seeing two brothers go at it, I think that would be pretty cool.
And I feel like at Elimination Chamber, we're going to essentially get our answer towards one of those. Whether it's, Jay aligning with Sami, maybe Jay then maybe this has all been a hold off and Jay's going to rejoin the bloodline again and turn on Sami. Maybe Kevin's going to come out to help. Maybe Kevin's going to come out to turn his back. I mean, we're going to get these answers at Elimination Chamber. But with Cody Rhodes, just one thing I thought of today that I think that WWE, they're either going to do, and if they're not going to do, take this advice, do it now. And because my brain, it works like this, and I thought, how could you not? Obviously, the opening packages for pay-per-views, a lot of times for WrestleMania, you have someone talking, you have someone kind of explaining the matches, the opening video package that kind of talks about the night ahead. And with Hollywood, they're going to talk about the stories and the scripts and the movies and all the stuff that goes with Hollywood, like Tampa, they did with Adventure and all the, the pirate Buccaneer themes. I got thinking, how could you not, in your opening package for WrestleMania, say, welcome to Hollywood, the place, where you have two paths, and, one is the American dream, and then show Dusty Rhodes, and one is the Shattered Dreams, and show Goldust, and then say, which one are you? And then kind of put up a picture of Cody, and kind of, get that build in, and I say this now as well, because maybe not just in the video package, but I think that would just be another added element that they should add to the build of, because, Hollywood is the place of broken dreams and made dreams. And what do you know? Cody Rhodes is somewhere in between, American Dream and Shattered Dream. So they could definitely play on those words and play on that kind of thing a little bit. And obviously Goldust and his whole Hollywood character, so kind of find a way to tie that in a little bit to be like, you're no Dusty Rhodes, you're more Dustin Rhodes.
Oh boy. I mean, that's
Paul Heyman,
good.
as we've seen with this promo we saw on Monday Night Raw, which kind of takes us off of Sami Zayn a little bit, and which what WWE was really trying to do to get us excited about this WrestleMania match with Cody Rhodes.
Yeah, it was that promo with Paul Heyman and Cody Rhodes. That was the best storytelling I have seen on any segment in WWE programming in a very long time. That was just, I was glued, man. I put it on and I just couldn't take my eyes off of the conversation they were having, the back and forth. And it's like, you get that, like, you get all the emotions, like, there might not be a dry eye in the audience, and then at the end of it, it's, you see Cody kind of going over to Paul like, oh, I just want to deck you right now. There were so many, like, it took you on a journey in 10 minutes, and it was just well done. It was well received. I just thought it checked all the boxes for me. And it was just, to me, it was, if you're not pumped for WrestleMania and WrestleMania season after that promo, you might want to check your pulse, because that stuff is why I watch wrestling as much as I do, and that is why I've been a fan for over a quarter century, which sounds a long time, which it is. That's the kind of stuff, those are the kind of moments that I look forward to as a fan. And thank you to Paul Heyman and Cody Rhodes for that. That was so much fun. And it just took you on a journey that you don't get often in these promos. A lot of it's scripted, and you could tell they went off script, because Paul Heyman was kind of sitting there like, oh, okay, I guess we're gonna pull back the curtain a little bit here. Mm-hmm. That you could tell Paul was kind of caught off guard a little bit. So that part of it was cool, because when you get Paul Heyman speechless, you did something, because Paul Heyman is always good on his feet really quick. And when he had to pause and think for a second, that was pretty damn good. And I know you agree with my sentiments on that promo.
It was a great promo. In WWE right now, we got two storylines going congruent at the same exact time. And in about a week and a half's time, we're going to find out if we got two storylines going for the next month and a half towards WrestleMania, or if one of those stories gets put to bed, it's going to be an interesting Elimination Chamber next week. And I guess my question to end this segment, after Elimination Chamber, do you want both storylines to keep going congruently and kind of create this muddled, or would you like one to be put to bed and then it's Roman and Cody straight on?
No, I want it. I want it all. I want the triple threat. That's where I'm at this point. I really just Sami deserves it at this point. Sami deserves his moment on the grandest stage of them all, WrestleMania. He's put on a hell of a show. You know, this entire storyline. Cody Rhodes, same thing. Cody Rhodes is one of those folks. He's done it, and he's proved his worth. And obviously, the tribal chief Roman Reigns is, he's the best thing going, in professional wrestling right now. So all three of them they're on a roll right now. They're just rocking and rolling. And to me, to do anything other than that would just be not great for the fans, but it would be a slap in the face to those three talents, because they're putting their best foot forward. And I think the best way to reward them and reward the fans is by having a triple threat match, putting on just a banger after banger after banger, and just have one hell of a main event.
Time will tell, and we will see what to do with Sami Zayn and this whole thing going forward.